Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Comic Book Nerd. A little bit welcome back, of course. I've been away for about 2.5 weeks or so. I've just been super busy with life, but we do plan to be back with videos today, and it starts with an Avengers Doomsday plot leak. We are going to talk about this, break it down. This is on X, so as always, take it with a grain of salt, but I read through the whole thing. We'll read through the whole thing again. It actually looks like some of this stuff could be true at Avengers Doomsday, and it is lining up with what a lot of reports are saying about the film. So, we're going to go over this plot leak, break it down, what I like, what I don't like. Obviously, we'll talk about that sort of stuff. We will also kind of discuss Doom's plan as a whole. I know we'll get into it, but we'll discuss Doctor Doom as a villain as well in this video. But first, if you are new to the channel, you already know what to do. Leave a like, subscribe, turn that bell on, as we are on the road to Avengers Doomsday. Going to be posting an Avengers Doomsday video every single day, pretty much up until it's released. Whether it's a YouTube short, whether it's a full-on video, we are going to be talking Avengers Doomsday every single day. So, hit that sub button, leave a comment down below if you are hyped for this film, and without further ado, let us go ahead and hop into this Avengers Doomsday plot description. So, this is coming at us from Majestic_UCM. Again, we do not know the relevancy of Majestic yet. He has been predicting a lot of stuff over on Twitter. He's been a quote-unquote scooper kind of recently on the scene, I guess you would say, of Avengers Doomsday. So we don't know how reliable he is, but a lot of stuff he has kind of said have been the same as if it were an insider. So, again, he's kind of like Daniel RPK, Charles Murphy, all of that stuff. And without further ado, let us go ahead and hop into this full description of Avengers Doomsday. So, Avengers Doomsday opens in New York City on Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man's Earth. We heard that before. He's fighting Deadpool and Wolverine, who were sent there with a planet-killing bomb built by Beast to destroy Tobey's world in order to save their own universe from an incursion. Tobey battles Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, who manages to plant the device. Wolverine stays behind when it detonates, and both he and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, along with everyone in that Earth, are killed. Deadpool escapes and returns to his own Earth, which we see in the distance. Charles Xavier watches the destroyed world below with sadness, but they had no choice. We then cut to Tony's funeral. Steve speaks with some of the heroes, including Ant-Man, before returning the Infinity Stones. He goes back in time and chooses to stay with Peggy. They have a son, Jim. One day, Loki visits them. This is before the Loki Season 2 finale. He tells Steve about the TVA and warns him that they will soon prune his timeline because Steve was never meant to live there or have a son. Loki offers them a way out. He can take them to a universe where they don't exist and can live a life in peace. The Fantastic Four's universe. Before leaving, Loki gives Steve a special card to contact him. Steve and his family lived there for 10 years. We then see Doctor Doom visiting Sue and Franklin. They clearly know each other. Doom says he has to come speak with Reed. He warns him about the incursions and reveals their universe is next. He proposes a plan, but they must travel with him to Earth 616. Doom also asks Reed whether it's possible from someone from another universe is living in theirs. They scan the planet and discover an anomaly, Steve and his family. They confront Steve, who recognizes them after living there for a decade. They explain the incursions and ask him to come to 616 to help convince the Avengers to trust Doom's plan. They travel there, and Steve successfully persuades the heroes to listen. Next, they visit the X-Men's universe, but the X-Men are hostile. They survived multiple incursions and trust no one. They assume the MCU heroes and Fantastic Four have come to destroy them and attack. Reed and Doom's plan explain their solution: to build massive cannons on Earth that will permanently separate the universes and stopping the incursions. They will split into teams, and each one will go to another Earth to place a cannon there. Meanwhile, Steve tells Thor he met a Loki who is still alive. Thor asks Steve to take him to him using Loki's card. They locate the TVA, but when they arrive, everyone is dead and Loki has his heart ripped out. They realize Doom is responsible. Steve goes back to confront Doom, who reveals his true plan to allow incursions to happen so he can rebuild the multiverse in his own image and resurrect his dead family. He takes Steve to his castle in Latveria on his Earth. There, Steve meets Doom's followers, masked witches. We'll come back to that in a second as well. One of them impersonates Peggy to manipulate him. Doom reveals that Steve's presence in their universe is what triggered their incursion, because he didn't belong there. It also led to the death of Doom's family. Doom became obsessed with stopping the incursion, conducting dangerous experiments, one of which failed, killing his family and leaving him disfigured, forcing him to wear the armor and mask. As revenge, Doom kills Steve's son in front of him. Doom announces that the Avengers are coming and Latveria prepares for war. The Fantastic Four, the Avengers, and the X-Men unite and march on Latveria. Thor prays to Odin, who sent an army from Valhalla to join the battle. We will also come back to that in a second, because that could be a very key plot point going forward in the MCU. We'll talk about that at the end here. A massive war erupts as the Earths begin to collide. Eventually, the universes crash into each other and are destroyed, killing everyone except Doom. It's revealed that he stole Loki's powers. Using them, he creates Battleworld, resurrects everyone, and erases their memories. They believe Battleworld is all that has ever existed. We see them living new lives in this false reality. Doom sits on his throne as the Emperor of Battleworlds, and that is the end of Avengers Doomsday. So, there you have it, a full leaked plot description for Avengers Doomsday. Now, first of all, I don't know if this is real. This is just what Majestic UCM _ posted on Twitter. Obviously, I said earlier in the video, take it, of course, with a grain of salt. But a lot of this stuff has kind of been what we have hearing, right? It's just kind of putting it into place, I guess you would say, in this film. First, we'll start off with Avengers Doomsday opening in Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man universe. That we have heard from multiple insiders. I believe John Campea has been one of those guys that have said over on YouTube, over on Twitter, that Avengers Doomsday is going to open like a cannon and it is never going to stop with non-stop action. He's going to fight Deadpool Wolverine, which I think is what is lining up with what we are hearing when we hear that Tobey Maguire is going to take on Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. Charles Xavier, the X-Men universe, obviously, they've been dealing with incursions for a long time. They are going to, of course, want to trust nobody. Steve and Peggy, Steve, I think this is very interesting, which we will talk about here. Steve talking with the Avengers there at Tony's funeral, I think is a big hint, because I think he's going to tell them, hey, I'm going back in time to live with Peggy. Possibly an incursion may happen, stuff like that. He may know more about the multiverse than we actually think he does. And ultimately, I think that could be where this conversation takes place, right? Steve having a son obviously makes a lot of sense. We've seen that in the trailer. Of course, Loki visiting Steve is going to be very interesting to see on screen as well. We've heard that is going to be a key factor in this film. We have also seen, of course, Doctor Doom. We have seen the Latveria sign. We saw that in the Fantastic Four. We are going to revisit that universe as a whole. We are going to see Doctor Doom and and Reed Richards, of course, with each other. That is kind of where Doom goes and gets Franklin, or tries to take Franklin. Then the Fantastic Four will go with him. Steve recognizing them, the Fantastic Four scanning the Earth, I think is going to be a very interesting point in this film as well. Then they'll go to the X-Men universe, and I think that lines up with what we are saying as well. We will have a X-Men versus Avengers level fight in Avengers Doomsday, right? So a lot of this stuff making sense. The end, of course, Doctor Doom killing Steve's son, I think is going to be very important. Masked witches, I do want to talk about that here for a second, because there has been a rumor that the Scarlet Witch is going to come back and actually be on Doctor Doom's side in Avengers Doomsday, and this would line up. So maybe in Avengers Secret Wars, we get a flashback or two showing Doctor Doom recruiting the Scarlet Witch and saving the Scarlet Witch from her fall in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I think that would be very cool. I think it would kind of tie in that film with the multiverse. Obviously, it's a multiversal film, but I think it would tie it even more to the overall story of Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. The Russo brothers have done a very good job, and if this plot is on point, then I will not be shocked. We also, of course, see Valhalla. We're going to see Odin again, or at least we're going to hear from Odin again. He's going to send an army of Valhalla, which I did say we will talk about. This could potentially set up a Thor 5 with Thor and Hercules, right? If Thor does die in Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, then of course they can use Valhalla to kind of come back to the MCU if they want to revisit that storyline. I don't know if Thor's going to die, but I do think that is going to be a key part of Thor 5 going forward after Avengers Secret Wars. We've been hearing rumors about that, and ultimately it just makes a lot of sense that they are going to go to Valhalla. Doctor Doom stealing Loki's powers, I think, is going to be the most important part of this film because, again, he is going to take everyone's free will and he is just going to use it for himself and create Battleworld, and that ultimately is going to be Avengers Doomsday, and I cannot be more excited. If this plot leak is true, I absolutely love it. I cannot wait for this film. This film is going to be so good. We have been hearing a lot regarding this. This lines up with a lot of stuff that we have been hearing, right? The X-Men scene, the Avengers versus the X-Men, Steve and Loki, obviously the opening scene with Tobey Maguire's universe. So the only thing missing here from this plot leak are the post-credit scenes, but of course, the post-credit scene could be Tobey and Logan, obviously stuff like that, and it could be hinting at an overall story to Avengers Secret Wars. We'll have to wait and see on that, but keep in mind, we are 9 months away from the movie, so again, a lot could change. Don't know what's going to happen at the end of Avengers Doomsday, obviously, but I do like this plot leak. I think it lines up with what we are hearing so far, and ultimately, I cannot be more excited for Avengers Doomsday. But you guys, let me know your thoughts on this plot leak in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn that bell on as we do our best to post on this channel every single day. Like I said, we are officially back with videos, ladies and gentlemen. Tomorrow will be a 3-video day. Of course, we'll have shorts and stuff like that throughout the day as well. Kind of get back into that groove of posting again. So hit that sub button. Leave a comment down below so you don't miss out on any of the latest videos. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.